Hi, this is Robin, the Generous Stitcher, and boy, um, Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. It was amazing, exhausting, and a very different experience this year as opposed to last. Um, so I only have a couple whips to show. I have a ton of gifts. I'm looking at my little list here. I have a ton of gifts to show that people gave me, and it's sort of overwhelming. One of the floss tubers that sat at my table, um, she actually just showed like some of the stuff she got, and then she lifted up and showed this big bundle of stuff, and she's like, I'm not going to go through this. And I almost feel like that, but I've got two plastic bins. I've got stuff all around me. And so I'm going to be stopping and starting this video as we go into different parts because I picked up some stuff from the free table. I have haul from the shop that I got last weekend and at the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. Oh, good. The fabric I bought is still in one of the plastic bins. And, I have whips and finishes. And a segment that I was thinking I might show that may make the video long, and we might do that another time. I also was thinking about doing, I've had so many finishes this year. I finished my 10th finish at the Sunday morning of the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit and got to ring the bell. And which I need to see if somebody took a picture of that. Let one of my friends take a picture of that. I'm not sure they did, but I did see myself in a picture for for one of the other cross stitchers, floss tubers that I sat with. So I will refer and mention her a bit later, and when I talk about pinwhists. And so anyway, yeah. So not many topics today, but a lot of stuff in each topic, and thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for subscribing. And like I say, I'm going to kind of do it in chunks and try to keep it. Yeah, I don't like doing like an hour and a half. I think my last video was like an hour and 45 minutes. I don't like doing those because they take a lot of time to process. And so they take a lot of time to edit and process on my computer, and then they take hours and hours to process when I upload it to YouTube, and then they take a few more hours to do the YouTube's checks. So I have to really plan like when do I film, when do I edit, when do I like basically say, here YouTube, deal with this for 4 hours and set my computer so it doesn't turn off, and it's kind of a mess. So and as well as this particular piece of software being glitchy where it doesn't want to start the audio at the same time. So anyway, so let me show you the finish and the whips and start it out that way because that's easiest for me to grab here. I see Willow on the table in front of me and she's thinking, I think she's going to not join us. All right, so this is the finish I had at the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. I did not think that I was going to be able to show it to you today. Gosh, it's like I can't see what I'm showing here. Oops, I think you all got to see it though. There. Oops, trying to get all the pieces like so they're not shadowed. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, okay. So, I thought we were going to give this baby to baby Vic yesterday, but mom and dad had way too many things going on this weekend, so they couldn't pop in. So Vic's daddy and I will arrange to figure out how he gets that probably in the next week or so. So so that's my finish. Some of you have seen that, and it was a lot of fun. I had downloaded a big bundle of anime, like Studio Ghibli patterns, like 21 patterns, and all of them were, this is a very tiny little, let me see if I can do it without the air. There he's in the, so this is, if I can get my fingers to work right, I can't. So that's Ponyo, I think. And so all of these except for the soot sprite right here on the end, that one, that's a soot sprite. All of them were from one designer who's no longer in Etsy. And they had this tiny figure, even my neighbor Totoro cat was basically on the head of a human character from the film. And so it was like a 200 by 200 crazy piece, And so I just basically cut out the little characters, and that's why they kind of have like partial bodies, is that they were sitting on top of someone's head. And so it fit for the bib, and I really liked how the back stitching came out on the little tiny Totoro. That was not easy because the way they charted it, the back stitches were not, they were like in the middle of a square of a stitch, and so they were very hard to get through into the Ada and have the stitch actually stay where it was supposed to be and not scoot over to the edge of a square. It was not easy. And that I did a lot of this stitch. I mean, I worked on this all weekend long, and then I did a lot of it Saturday night. I wasn't feeling too well at Pinwis. I'm not an introverted person. I mean, I'm not an extroverted person. I'm an introvert. So being around a lot of people and being social and sort of like up, it's taxing for me. And so, I love performing, and I love, even though it makes me very nervous, I have grown fond of giving presentations and like for work, but it takes a lot out of me. And so by the evenings, I didn't get to stay and stitch in the ballroom with people as much as I wanted to, because by the end of the day, into the evening, I was just dragging. And so Saturday night, I went and ate dinner, and I just felt like I ate too much, really rich, heavy food. And so I went back to the ballroom, and I told my friends, I'd love to stay here and stitch, but I'm not feeling well. And I'm going to go upstairs and maybe take allergy medication. Because when I would get in the room, I was allergic to something like a carpet freshener or something. And so I had a lot of allergy symptoms when I was in my room, not when I was out in the ballroom. And a couple times I think I reacted to some foods, which was not good. But I have a ton of allergies. Like, doctors just said, "What planet are you from?" Because it's not Earth. So anyway, some of my personal challenges at Pinwis did not detract from the weekend. It was great. It was just so different though, because like all these people were saying hi and coming up to me and wanting to talk to me. And one lady says, "Do you do quilt floss tubes?" And I'm like, "Are you a quilter?" And I'm like, "No, but I do cross stitch." And then she's like, "Oh, I have watched you." And so, yeah. And I'll tell us another story a little bit later in this video about that continuing on this weekend when I was at the shop and trying to just stitch with people and things like people coming into the shop and talking to me or hailing me from across the shop, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, hi," running into other friends in the cross stitch community. So I got to ring the bell on this, which is the first time I ever got to ring a bell anywhere, anytime, which was fun. And this is the 10th finish I've had for the year. And I thought maybe I'll do a finish parade with all the different baby and marriage gifts that I've done through this year. I had a person at the shop that I sat next to who was like, I really want to see the bear bib. And I started showing her, and she's like, no, no, that's not the one. And I'm like, okay. So I showed her the other bear bib with the black bears. And so, and I showed her all the baby gifts actually that I had done. And, you know, so it's like, okay, if you want to catch up on things I've done. I had my phone there, so I was swiping through things and showing her. So I thought, well, maybe I should do like toward the end of the year a finish recap, and because people show their whip parades, and you know, and I'll do that too. I've actually been thinking about doing that sooner rather than later, but in terms of content. So anyway. So that's the finish, and like I say, Baby Vic's gonna get it soon. And so then I've been spending more time working on Baby Vic's second. Oops, you know, it's gonna have to do something here because the light in the window is shining through that. Maybe I turned off this light, but I'm gonna turn it on because then it'll show. There we go. So this is the last time I showed this to you. There was this raindrop and the one next to it with a few right bouncing off there. Now I've got a little bit more rain. I got two colors of rain. This is, if I can get my, that's like a different color, although you can't really see it here. And then, oops, and then this is Totoro's blue and purple umbrella that's just most of the umbrella, at least starting to get most of the shape. It's a very teeny umbrella compared to the giant Totoro. So that's how far I've gotten on this. I've been working a lot on it, but this is black even weave, and it's like, gosh, I don't remember what size it is, but it's like 32 or 36. Oops. I think it's 32. And so I work on this in a bright room, and in my house, you see the reflection of the light on my glasses. I can backlight with this one, or I can shine that one down. I have a chandelier above it. It shines down. And then I grab, if I have to, I grab this little lamp that I take with me to friends' houses to stitch. So I can, like, you know, double or triple light it and have different, you know, have different shadowing and lighting so that I can really see it well. And so I can actually work on it better at home than other places. Although Acorns and Threads has really good lighting. And then of course it's kind of small, so then I sometimes have to use this and look through. Yeah, hey, you see my face getting bigger. So I can look through it on this. And of course, being so nearsighted, I look over the lens, I look outside the lenses and through the magnifier, and then it's really popping on for my eyes. But yeah, so it's not an easy piece. I do get eye strain. When I start feeling the eye strain, I put it down, and I've been working on a second piece, which is actually something for me, which is not a gift. I have two gifts that I'm working on. The second gift for Baby Vic, and then I have a 12 by 16 purple pansy angel, which is a gift, a retirement gift for one of my doctors. And so that piece, it's sort of a massive floss toss craziness that whenever I've gotten it out, the cats like go party time and start jumping on and trying to chew it and trying to grab the flosses. So it's one that I might start bringing with me to the shop, just so I can, once a month when we do our third Saturday stitch, because I can't work on it at home. I might bring it to the Sailor Mary Stitchers, we have such a big group now, we don't have too much to spread out. Usually, you know, the hostess gives us a placemat, and that's like our area to put our stuff. And so, although the last week at Kara's, I kind of spread out a bit more, but won't be able to do that all the time. So let me show you the piece that I work on when my eyes start hurting, because this piece is easy to stitch on because it is on Summer Sky Joblin, and I think it's is it 20? I've got the I can't see through the little tag. Hey, where is it? Oh, it's probably on here. Yes. 28 count. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, and I probably should have started on one of the end instead of in the middle, but I started this a year ago when I went on a business trip and I was in a hotel room, so I just sort of started in the middle of fabric because I knew that would work out. And so this is I started in the middle of the pattern. I don't always start in the middle of the pattern because of what I'm stitching. Actually, that's upside down. So, yeah, I think so. Yes. Okay, that's right side up. So this big gray blob is the middle of the cat. And I actually started putting in some of the flowers, and here come the cats, or one of the cats. And so I'm going to fold this back up somewhat. Oops. Fold it that way. Oh, Willow is pounced on the flosses that are in my plastic bag. Hey, let's get off, please. Excuse me. Excuse me. Just let me get out. Let me get my project bag. Thank you. So I'm putting stuff back in the project bag. There's Max. He's really, really, really wanting to play with the stuff over on the desk. Max. Okay. He wants to eat the jade plant that you can't see right now. So now he's getting into something else that he can cause mischief in. So that pattern is House Without a Cat, which is a house without a cat is like a garden without flowers, and this is a memorial piece for Velveta. I can probably insert her picture. And so I basically started in the middle, which is basically a lot of gray right in here. And so I did like 52 stitches, which is this part here is like 50 to 53 or 54 inch stitches. And so, you know, I did a block of like 52 across, and some of them were a little bit shorter than that. And so then I sort of arbitrarily said, okay, I'm at this part, you know, of the neck and the shoulder of the cat. So I'm just going to say that's where my gray stopped, because that's really close to the physical center of the pattern. And then I started doing the flowers here. And so because it's such a light fabric and it's super easy to see, it's 28 counts, it's a bit bigger. And so, and, you know, and I'm doing 2/2, just like I'm doing on the Totoro piece. So, so that's easier for me to see and fun to do when my eyes are hurting. And so what I did last weekend, it was third Saturday of the month, and I went up to the shop, shopped a little bit, stitched a bit, and you know, worked on the Totoro piece, on basically a lot of the umbrella, and my eyes started hurting. Then I started working on the cat, and it was fun because there was, like I said, the lady next to me wanted to know, you know, she wanted to look at some of the other things I'd finished, which was fun. I don't mind showing people that. And then I was sitting next to my friend Lisa, I have two friends, Lisa. And they both live in, well, actually, one lives in Tigard, one lives in Beaverton, but they both live really geographically close to each other. And so, Lisa from Tigard stitches with the Salem area stitchers. I'm going to turn this off because and the light will equalize now. Yes. I, I had everything just so, and okay, yeah, it's lightening up now. Good. So I was like, okay, let everything equalize, and so it really bugs me when I see YouTubers with their Ring cameras reflecting in their glasses. So see, now it's like normal light. So yeah, so Lisa in Portland, in Beaverton, she's my friend that I stitch with at the shop, and Lisa from Tigard is Zooms with us with the Salem area stitchers, and went to Pinwis with blah blah blah, Pinwis with us, and so anyway, so that's whips and finishes, and I think what I'm going to do now is stop for a little bit so I can put the whips away for the cats and collect some of the things in the plastic bins because, like I say, there's a lot. It's going to be a while. So I will take a brief break. Okay, I'm back. And so what I've been doing lately, which is sort of inconvenient, but it is what it is I've been taking the big hoop in this giant 14-inch project bag, which I showed last time. It has the cool cats inside. And so this has flosses, it has my hoop and my fabric. It also has a pillowcase to have a light background so you can possibly see better, although I haven't really found that to be the case. And then I've taken this is supposed to have some flosses for that too. So sometimes I've had that. It depends on if I'm working on particular areas that have only a few colors. And then I have been taking the House Without a Cat, which I'm going to put into this project bag. So it's like I've had 3 of my 4 project bags with me, which is not always convenient. And I have them in a big black shopping bag. And so last week I went up to shop and stitch for third Saturday to Acorns and Threads, and I had my purse. And I didn't take my charging brick. I didn't even need this at Pinwis. It was so nice. I charged things in the room, and then they lasted well enough. And then, of course, I thought I had the magnetic purse. And, oops, I'm going to close this because we got a lovely fob. If I can hold it here so you can see it. This was one of the Pinwis. There you go. Wish it was a little bit there. This was like one of the gifts we got at Pinwis. So I thought I had this because inside this lovely purse is what I got at the 2023 Pinwis, and this is my little magic book that has all the things I want. And I left it at home. And so Acorns and Threads has a coupon program, which I've mentioned before. And the coupon program, you can get your coupons for next year coming up in October, I think, or right around the beginning of October. And so so I had all my, at Pinwis, I had all of my pink things together. So, and this is like a shirt similar to a shirt I wore the last day. And so, but I didn't have this in my tote bag because I had gotten it out to stitch some stuff or to get something out, and then I had left it at home, which I have to bring it with me this coming weekend because that's the last Saturday of the month, and Floss is on special with a coupon, and I had gone through all of my flosses and have a big messy thread for September like list. I'm not sure I'm going to get all these DMCs. If I have time this week, I'm going to go through the DMCs again and make sure that I really need these. But there's all these other flosses. There's stuff for the Mirabilias that I've been purchasing. So, yeah. And then I'm going to try to do a chart fast. Okay? People have been talking about chart diets, and I need to fast because I've got way too many charts. You know, I reorganized the white dresser. Now it's full again. And I need to go through one of the drawers that has a bunch of notions and things that I've been getting from friends, you know, like as small gifts and things from retreats that are small gifts. And so I need to go through that drawer because I have 2 plastic bins of stuff I got at Pinwest, and it's not going to fit. And I need to go through that again. And gosh, I also need to go through that room a bit because my husband's been cleaning out the garage, so he brought me in 3 big banker boxes with lids, and so I need to repack some of the stuff in our office so it is not such a mess. So, all right, where am I going to put this? I'm going to set this on the table. Be right back. Ugh. And grabbing one bin. Gosh, and it gets dark again. You know, I don't like how that works. I might have to just turn on the light, and maybe that will help. Don't like the reflection. Now I feel like I'm shaded on one side. So, all right. So Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. I'm sure that. So this is actually like a little thing of like floss drops and stickers and things I got throughout the year. Okay, so yeah, so this is kind of like stuff I've gotten, like this is cottage garden threads, you know. So I get stuff, you know. You get something from Etsy, they send you a little like, hey, here's a sticker or here's a floss drop, you know, and so that's kind of like throughout the year. And this is the kind of stuff in that drawer that I kind of want to winnow out, and maybe I want to take floss drops that I know I'm not going to use and stick it in a little goodie bag to give to somebody else. So I'm just sort of going to go through this box sort of piecemeal. And I'd kept packaging for several things because I wanted to make sure that I credited the right people, but I'm looking at this going, this is not showing their, put that in the trash, it's not showing their Etsy shop. So if you went to Pinwest, we had Teresa Kogut and we had Beth Twist, Heartstring Samplery, and which is funny because I don't believe I have any patterns from her except for the one we got at the retreat. And Willow, no. Willow's like, I'm going to pull stuff out of the bag for you, Robin. And hey, and you're going to poke your little paw because I have counting pins here that I wanted to show. And so we got 2 patterns, and Teresa Kogut made us this lovely bag based on the pattern of what she gave us. And so I know you've seen some Pinwest recaps already, so I probably won't go through this too much, but I'm going to grab out the patterns. Yes. Okay. So Teresa Kogut gave us some she gave us some greeting cards with her pattern on it. She gave us a little squirrel, or not squirrel, raccoon. And the raccoon and the beaver, which were two of the animals on these patterns, had names. So the raccoon is Finn and the beaver is Willow, which I hope the other person named Willow with fur in my house is not getting confused. So we got all the flosses to do both the patterns, because these patterns that we got are interconnected. And I'm just looking for, I guess I took it out of the bag. That makes it hard. Okay. Okay. So I don't want to give away anything here, but I'm just kind of looking at so the theme was across the miles, and so this is the heartstring samplery. Try to show it so there's not much glare. Distance means so little when someone means so much. And so this is Beth Twist's kind of like elements of her house. She has beehives, and she and her husband live on a number of acres in the foothills of Mount Hood and the Cascades, and so they actually manage their own forest. And so, and then there's some different pictures and things and stories included. Beth Twist's husband made this ruler, and as she was talking about him, and they actually interviewed him, and I realized he's talking about a business I know about, because my brother-in-law was like one of the chief engineers for that business, and I bet they knew each other. And sure enough, my brother-in-law had trained her husband, and he had stuck it out with the company. My brother-in-law went on to other companies, and so I was able to, introduce myself. Hey, I'm so-and-so's sister-in-law, and and then later on I met him, and I said, he's working in this small machine, does engineering for a company that makes small machines. So anyway, there's a lot of little stuff in here. And Beth Twist gave us, her pattern came in a hand-stamped cloth bag, and she said she uses these cloth bags, like many Oregonians who are interested in recycle, reduced, reuse. She uses these at the grocery store for produce, which I like these bags. I might have to do that too. But, okay. So we got a piece of Cedar Ridge maple bar fabric to do the pattern on. And these patterns, and this is enough fabric that you can do two patterns side by side with space in between them, and cut your fabric and then have two pieces you can frame. Or you can, maybe I should have left the other pattern out to show how that works. They're not quite the same size, but so what you can do is you can, and this is going to be, let's see, go this way. So you want the animals next to each other, and the houses on, opposite each other. So, and this is basically elements of Teresa Kogut's workshop, and she's had raccoons like in the attic, the workshop, maybe like the attic of the workshop, and then she opened the door and like the baby raccoons, sorry, my nose is itching, the baby raccoons were on the floor. So she's had some issues with the raccoons. And of course, white-tailed deer, very common in Michigan. And so around the border are cherries and Oregon grape, and cherries are also are an important agricultural product in Oregon as well as Michigan. Um, they have robins, which are the state bird of Michigan. Someone mentioned, well, where's the Oregon state bird or where's Oregon's state tree? Beth Twist did put a fir, which is right there in the middle, and she put a beaver because we're the beaver state, and and then she put one of her barn cats, and so let me think of some other elements here. In terms of State Board of Oregon, we had in 2022 the Forest Home pattern by Jeanette McGowan. I think that's her name. I always mess it up. The Blue Flower. She did a bird that looked a lot like the Western Meadowlark, which is Oregon's state bird. So I feel like that bird's been represented. So, and then just when we thought, well, this is like a lot, and they had stitched models showing the two patterns separately and mushed together, and I would like to do the mush together. Then when we thought, well, this is just like so much, the next day they said, hey, we have something very special. This is Willow and Fin Biscornu. Sorry about the glare. And so when and if these Biscornu are released outside of this retreat, they will not, they're going to change up the design a bit. They won't exactly be like this. So, oh, and then we had wooden buttons of the two animals. So, all right. So that is the main deal for what we got at the retreat. And then there was all the stuff. Gosh, and that's something that should have gone in the like going through this here. This is why I should. So the one thing I wanted to share with you is I had made table gifts, and my husband and I had spent 2 nights at one of these tables making these. And so I took a index card. I put my sticker with my YouTube handle, and then from Mira's to Mill Hills, and this is a piece of felt, and there is a gold eye. You can kind of see the gold there. This is a petite tapestry needle, and then there is a number 10 pony beading needle, and it's number 10, so the eye is a little bit bigger. You can kind of see it right there. That's larger than the eye of a number 12, and so I basically made enough of these for everyone at every table to get one, and then basically counted out the number of people per table and left one of these bags at every table. And I had several people throughout the retreat come up to me and ask me about the beading needles or thank me. And I said, these beading needles are similar to what's in the Mill Hill kits, because Mill Hill, when you do beading with Mill Hill, they do provide you a beading needle. And if I can find one, there's a different style of beading needle that I prefer to use, and I wanted to show that, but it appears it'll be in here when I go through and get to it. We were given a plastic bag to put things in, which I put things in. So I forget if this was part of the freebies or if somebody else gave this to us. There was just so much stuff, okay? Last year, I mean, I got some table gifts that were more along the lines of things like this. This is about how much I got last year from table gifts. This year I just got like, and I got my little favorite book with a Beth Twist pattern on the front of it. And, I got like stuff that they gave us, yeah, last year. But I did not get like all this just stuff from all these people that I don't even know who gave me stuff, because some of it you'd go off to lunch or you'd go off to the bathroom and you'd come back and there'd be something at your place and you don't know who dropped it off, and you'd point to it like other people at the table and they'd be like, I don't know, I wasn't here when they brought it back. So thank you to everyone at Pinwis who gave me something or left something at our table. And Willow, you're going to cause a cascade avalanche. Yes, you're going to cause a cascade avalanche. This is unsafe. She's trying to get around to, aha, I left the floss bag visible, which was a mistake on my part. So there, move that. Move this. Just gotta put stuff away when I... So this is kind of falling apart. Sailor Mary Stitchers, my friend Kara, made us... She actually made the paper. This is like an old piece of... Uh-oh. Ooh. That's something that Willow should not have, but it's not as bad as other stuff. She's like, oh, what's all that noise? And things are falling off the floor. I'm going to have to take a break and go get stuff off the floor. So I can find my mouse here. Okay, Willow, are you going to stop the filming? Good. You're not stopping the filming, but you're still in the danger zone. All right. So another thing, I don't think you're going to see this very well, a little bit. It says, out of my way, I'm on my way to Acorns and Threads, with Acorns and Threads address and phone number. This is a car sticker. So that was part of our free stuff from Acorns and Threads. And so I was showing you that handmade bag, and that was from my friend Kara at Sailor Mary Stitchers. And so we had in the bag, I don't know if we had some chocolates. I think I threw the chocolates in the bag. But she made us a little, gave us some scissors and a little sort of weathered vintage spool with a button and some lace as a little scissor stand. And then she and her sister together are the Sip sisters, because I guess they, sip things while they're stitching. And they gave us a little fob, and this one has a cat on it, which I keep trying to... Now, Max, you're not supposed to eat the chocolate. There. Good, you can see it. And there's another one that my fingers are blocking that basically says 2024. And then there was no, let's not play. These are chocolates. They're not like cat toys. Good boy. Okay, put those there. So anyway, there's I think it's a magnet, needle minder. So one of the mystery things we got was some counting pins, and I'll pop up a picture of how I used them the day I got this. They're very handy on that bib, putting the very last character and where I was going to start it. So you're seeing a couple pictures there of how I used these. I got several things of counting pins, and I'll show the two other clusters of pins I got. I was thinking that it would be very nice to get at a retreat or something from a stitchy friend some counting pins. Now, please don't send me a bunch, but I was thinking it'd be nice to have a few of these because I'm going to be doing samplers. I'm going to be doing mirrors. I'm going to be doing things that are larger, and I don't want to miscount. And so it would be nice to have like counting pins so I know where I need to stitch to or where I need to start a stitch. So thank you. And the person who's left these at my table at Pinwest, I love them, and I've used them multiple times now. So we had a free table. I had 2 plastic bins. That's one of these plastic bins had free stuff in it, like fabrics. And so I picked up I have no idea how finished this is. Oh, it's not finished. So this is like needlepoint, and it's pansies. Love pansies. So I was like, okay, I'm taking it. Eventually I'll do needlepoint so I can do that. I picked up a thing of waist canvas, which 14 count. That's a good size. If it's opened, it's pretty thick. There's several pieces in here, so I probably will be able to use this if I make some t-shirts or things for my niece or my great nephew or my other niece or other great niece. So this was from Lisa from Tigard, who is in the Salem area Stitchers. This is a coaster made with Teresa Kogut fabric, and I used this for my coffee during the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. Thank you, Lisa. All right. Okay. So I am getting to the haul portion in that bin, so I think I can put it aside for a minute and get the other bin with all the other goodies. All right. This was from Elise, my friend, who's in Salem area Stitchers, and there's all sorts of stuff in here. And this was from my friend Lisa, who lives in Beaverton, that I stitch with at the shop. It's got all sorts of clips and a floss drop, and there's more stuff in here. There's one of these sticky things that is like a rubber chicken sticky thing. Funny. I think it's cute. I think I know what these are for, like sticking, like they're sticky so you get like little bits of the floss off your fabric or dust, and then I think you can wash it and it retains its stickiness. So I think all right, I'm kind of gonna do a bit of sorting. So we got some floss drops. This is from Stitchy Witch 42, which I need to go and subscribe to her channel. I met her, back in February or sometime, and I'd written her handle down, and I'd like interposed the stitch and the witch. So when I went to search her, I could never find her, but then I realized, like right before Pinwist, my mistake, and I need to go watch her. So they were handing out these little like pumpkin. This one was black and white gingham, which I liked. The other ones had more orange in it. I love pumpkins. I love fall, love Halloween, but I just thought this one was a little different looking, so I liked it. But I don't remember who gave this to us. Okay? please, if you know, give me a comment or send them to the channel to subscribe. So I want to, dig this out. This is like the hugest thing that I got. And basically, Sharon from the Salem Mary Stitchers gave us a stitching journal, and you can actually stitch on the cover. And then she gave us this wood thing, and I think she told us what to do with it, but I wasn't paying attention. So I'll talk to her later. And she gave us some cherry hard candy, which I'm probably going to share with my husband, along with those chocolates I found. So I already gave him M&Ms. I go to a retreat. I don't really like plain M&Ms. I mean, if you're going to eat plain M&Ms, why don't you just eat like Toll House morsels or something? But so I didn't. I didn't want to eat those. So he gets those. So I'm digging for more stuff. So Acorns and Threads is infamous for its make and take objects. So this is something that Matt Twist, Beth's husband, made, and it is a phone stand for Acorns and Threads, and it does work. I don't know if I'm going to be able to illustrate that so much, but here's my phone on the stand. And my phone's plugged in, so I'm not going to leave it on the stand. So you could have your phone, and so then you could have your phone and watch Flosstube. See, I usually like listen to Flosstube or podcasts to the side where my phone's plugged into my computer, so I don't often have that benefit. But if you're going to a retreat or you're gonna go, and my friend Lisa from Beaverton actually brought hers and used hers this Saturday when we were stitching at the shop. So they are being used, Janine. So this was another one of the bits of swag we got for free. And so, and one of the loveliest bits of swag was we got a little Ort jar with silver, and the person who does this recovers this silver from jewelry clay that is infused with silver, and then recycling it gets the silver from it and makes jewelry and other sorts of things. And so these are oak leaves with a couple acorns. Very beautiful. And then a little cork there. So yeah, I don't know if I want to even use this as an Ort jar. I mean, I have my little Ort boat that I take with me when I go places to stitch, but at home I just have my trash can like right down here, and so that's pretty. It may go in a special shelf. So then my friend Tammy, Woodland Stitching Studios, made us these, which were wool, like a wool pin cushion with decorative counting pins. And I thanked her specifically. That was actually before I got these at my table, and I said, I've been wanting counting pins. I only have a couple at home, and I've been wanting more because, with the things I'm stitching, I see a need. So, and then there was one other. Oh, here it is. So Kara had also made us a little pin cushion with counting pins. And that was apart from, I think it was it apart from her bag or not? I can't remember. And then, somewhere is a little acorn that is fuchsia somewhere. But Cindy from Salem Area Stitchers had a big bowl of them and encouraged everyone to take a couple colors. So this might have been from her, this might have been from somebody else, because I took a fuchsia one out of her bowl. But the fuchsia one is not showing up at the very bottom of my goodies. So, and then this was like, yeah, there was a business card from someone who is a VFW person, a woman, Veterans of Foreign Wars. And so she gave us a tree of life, and so her business card's on the back. And so that was left, while we were at dinner or something. So I think I finally am down to the stuff. Oh, not quite. Oh, yeah, not quite. Wanted to get through all the stuff we got. So this was a little tray with, and this was one of those take and make infamous Janine specials, where we put on our own sticky feet, and the sticky feet did not want to come off the sticky label, and so that's why some of the feet are a little raggedy, but worked well enough. They're sticking, they're not coming off. And so this is a little tray. It's got magnets at the top for your needle. And so for the first day, I actually used this as my coaster. And then I thought, no, I actually have a coaster that Lisa gave me, even though it's pretty Teresa Kogut fabric, I'm still going to use it. And so then I swapped them out, and I started using this as a tray and putting my needles on the magnet. So I'm trying to... Okay, and then I showed you that needlepoint thing off the free table and the waste canvas, and then I saw this, which is the Uquina Lighthouse. This is actually Uquina Head, which is, it says on the traffic sign, outstanding national area or outstanding scenic area. It's designated as that. So this was on the free table. It's from 2016 from Doherty Designs, which is Maureen James. And so she has Haystack Rock, which is another Depot Bay Bridge, a bunch of Oregon Bandon Lighthouse, Mount Hood, Multnomah Falls, Mount Rainier, Hecate Head Lighthouse. My dad, I think, worked at, I think he worked at Hecate Head on a construction project when he was younger and doing construction. Tillamook Head Lighthouse, Walport Bridge, a lot of things. I'm going to have to figure out where if they are out there somewhere, because some of these things I would really like to do. And so anyway, I'm just reading the back. So this was on the free table, and trying to stick the stuff I got for free. Okay, and then one more thing. Oh, a couple more things. This was I forget. I'm sorry, I forget who gave this to us, but it's a dry erase marker, a floss drop with a magnet, and I forget what they told us we could do with this. Sounds like the punchline of a bad joke, but it's kind of overwhelmed with the stuff. And then when I did my smalls exchange, the lady, I think her name was Gloria, who got my small, loved it, and she was sitting with somebody who had gotten a tote bag finished by Tammy from Woodland Stitching Studio, and they were all like, her finishing is awesome. And I'm like, yeah. So Gloria had table gifts for her table and a few extras to give to friends she knew. And so she gave me one of her gifts, and it's this cute little Halloween fabric purse. And inside was Tylenol and wet wipes. So, and Band-Aids. So, she said her gift was useful, and I would say yes, it is. So, and Max is coming up here, and I hope he doesn't stop the video. Hey, I know you're like saying, hey, isn't that a cat toy? Look at all this stuff up here. It's cat toys. No, it's not. Okay, sweetie. I got to put all this stuff away because I don't want you to decide it's a cat toy and put a pin through your face. Yeah. Okay. He's like, this is way too restrictive here. He's like, this is not what I signed up for. So he's leaving the way he came. So I have another table we got out of the garage, and the cats are loving it because they've been hopping back and forth between the tables, and it's actually a bigger table, and I've had stuff on it, but it's like stuff that they can like hop up and check things out and then hop down, and so they've been enjoying that. So I was hoping, and my hopes were you see, yes. Did I get 5 pieces? I must have. So, last time I was talking about some of the things I got from Lindy Stitches and one of her market releases, and I said, hey, I shopped my stash for some Atomic Ranch, and I'm going to do that piece with her pattern that was basically staying warm, which is right here. I'm going to talk about those in a minute. And so while Pinwis was going on and still at the shop, so I'm going to go back there and probably look at it again. I looked at it this weekend and I thought, well, maybe I'll think about it. But it was all this, there was tons of stuff. Okay, the dyer from Cedar Ridge was at Pinwis, and so we had a bunch of Cedar Ridge fabrics. The Cedar Ridge fabric was used in the kit for the patterns we got, but all this Atomic Ranch, which is my favorite. So ocean sand, and there was actually, I think, a bigger piece of this, but I thought, no, I'll let somebody else get the bigger piece. And Pumpkin King, which I'll come back to in a sec, and because I was like, there was somebody who used that, and that's why I wanted it. And then this one didn't have a name. It had a product number, but it's 18 count Ada, and sort of like a chalkboard black. And then Destiny, which was very similar to Vapors, which I'm doing a piece on that you've seen. And this actually was a white that has sort of like a brown tint to it. So it's really as close to brown as I want to get for most of my stitching. And I liked it. The Vapors that they had in the selections really were changed compared to the Vapors that I got last year. They have lots bigger models of gray, and it's very much gray model with very little white. So I didn't like that quite so much in terms of what I want to stitch on in the future. But you know, there could be something in the future that I decide I want to get, and I got a piece of this. This is Artemis, and it's Lugana. So there was several pieces of this, And there's still some pieces of this, and there's like a navy one with sort of modeling with this intense dark blue, and that's still up for sale. So I might go back. Well, I will go back because I have to get my flosses, but I might peek at the table one more time, and I might look at the Cedar River stuff. And so anyway, I'm going to leave the Pumpkin King out for a sec because now I'm ready to go into patterns. And if I can pick them all up without ooh, and there's one more thing from Pinwis that I didn't talk about, but I want to. So I put these patterns here on the keyboard. Hopefully I don't stop anything. But so I did the smalls exchange, and you saw my small in a few floss tubes back that basically was finished as a box with the Rebel Stitchers Moonlight Garden on it. And so when I put my thing on the smalls exchange, I saw this beautiful gift bag with some tissue, lovely pink ribbon, and a tag that has not been used. So and I thought, man, this would be a great thing to recycle and reuse. I love this. Love the colors, pinks, okay? And here's the other side. And actually, probably with the tag there, that's probably the front. So I love the bag, and I thought, well, maybe if it's not picked when I go up to pick my small, I'll pick this one. And I did. And so this is one of those stay hidden because the cats. And so this was the small in it, and it has a bird pin, and it has the edges. Somebody said, oh, that came out. Well, no, I think that's intentional to have the fluffy ends to it, because the cording isn't fraying. It's just the ends of the knot, which I think's fine. And and it has lovely fabric on the back. And so I don't recall. I think this was basically stitched by Nan, who's one of my Salem Mary Stitcher friends. She's Kara's sister, one of the Sip Stitch sisters. And so this is her small. So I picked her small, which didn't expect to pick a small from somebody I knew, but it's beautiful. I love the colors, and it will go into the China hutch because the cats would chew on this, and so that's why I'm keeping it in the package. Put that back in. Okay, now we're gonna get into some stuff with the patterns that I've purchased, and I'm gonna get the other bin back so I can grab some more stuff out of it. So Lindy Stitches had previewed. Okay, that's from the Staying Warm pattern. So Lindy Stitches had previewed a bunch of market release stuff from August, and this was the first one I saw, and I was like, must have. And so, but there were a lot of she basically had in her Stash Fest #7 floss tube, she basically had gone through the top 10 best-selling patterns, and I'm gonna put this one back. You saw this one the last time I did a floss tube, but I'm picking out a couple things here, and this is not from the Stash Fest, so I hope I have the right things. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, so yeah, so there were a lot of well-known stitchers as well as less well-known stitchers, designers, and there was a Patini design that was in her top 10. It was not this one, but I love this one. So it was kind of interesting because out of the top 10, if I can count them right, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe it's this one. So I had oh no, it's the Halloween Quaker, which I think got lost in the shuffle. Okay. Well, I think Halloween Quaker got lost in the shuffle. So it's somewhere in here. But anyway, so Halloween Quaker was one of the top 10. Graveyard Guardian was. Antidepressants was maybe number 3. Staying Warm was Quaterian Creations. I don't remember if this is one of the top 5. I know Graveyard Guardian was, and that's a designer out of Estonia. And Halloween Snail was in the top 10. And so I basically had added up, and I'd gotten 5 out of her top 10. I didn't buy all of them through her. I bought the Halloween Quaker at Acorns and Threads, but it was in the top 5 too. So anyway, so that's how I did in terms of picking things. So I didn't put it in there, did I? Nope. Okay. All right. Now, in terms of and the reason I saw the Pumpkin King and yoinked it off the table as fast as I could and hung on to it was this is stitched on Pumpkin King. And so I'm like, okay, it's half kitted already. And so then I went to the Acorns and Threads. Actually, I didn't go to the special retreat stitching event, which is from 5 to 7. I went earlier in the day. And I kind of missed out on something that other people talked about, which was the football team gracing us. And they were nice guys. Bad situation and very embarrassing for Portland State. That is just not the way to treat people, Portland State. I'm not happy. As a virologist and public health person, bad. So, all right, especially public PSU, you have public health, okay? You know better. Jeez, stupid people. So, that's all I'm going to say. All right, so during my stitching time, I picked up all of the fabrics from Atomic Ranch, and that was my big bundle. And then I saw Lola Crow now has patterns in paper at Acorns and Threads, and everybody was grabbing them as fast as they could. And I looked at the display and I was like, that's the Gothic Authors ones my friend was talking about. That's about the only one of hers I don't have. There's one other, the Ghostly Ballroom. I don't have that one, but I think the Ghostly Ballroom might be sold out at Acorns and Threads. They were selling out quick. I think I got like the last one on the display of the Gothic Authors. And then I also picked up this is Hannah Ann Wallace, which I might have seen at Saltbike Stitchers. This was one I thought was on my wish list, but since I didn't have my wish list with me, I was like, well, pretty flowers and birds. I picked it up anyway. So it was not on my wish list. Maybe shouldn't have got it. But you know, I'm not a sampler stitcher, so I'm not like buying tons of them. And I was showing my husband like some Hawk Run Hollow stuff last night. And he was like, all those patterns are $35. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go down the Hawk Run rabbit hole because I'm going down the Mirabilia rabbit hole. And I got this Lilith of Labrador from 123 Stitch, and I got a bead pack that goes with it, which is right here. And then I went to Acorns and Threads last weekend, and I had stuff waiting for me in my box, which I forgot to get at, whoa, this is really a lot, and it's heavy. So I'll pull out the heaviest stuff first. So I knew that Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine came out. Got it on principle. I actually picked up a Punch Needle pattern. Mistletoe Manor was also part of the market release that I didn't get through Lindy Stitches, although she had previewed this. But I thought about it and decided I liked it, so I got it through Acorns and Threads. And then I bought the exclusive Emmeline Purnell, which is an exclusive through Acorns and Threads, and I've ordered my Tabby Cat linen, and I have purchased my silks. So, you know, that's part of the reason, that's part of what I'm trying to do this year, is stretch myself as a stitcher. And I saw a model stitch of this. I believe they did it as punch needle, and so I got that. And Halloween Biscornu was again one that was Poutini, and this might have been in the top 10 of Lindy Stitch's Stash Fest. I had thought about it. I didn't pick it up through her, but I thought about it and decided, yeah, because I want to try to do Biscornus. And then I got some leftover from last year, little notebooks, because I find them so easy. There's my Halloween Quaker. I purchased it like earlier than Pinwis, but so anyway, okay, so some silks that were in my list. One of their shop, this one can now go and recycle, and I got some pins, crows, and these are like, and this is just another button company, and this is Poutini, the crows. And Lindy Stitches is sold out of this for sure, but Acorns and Threads was not. So yeah, all right. So that, I think that's it for haul. That's a lot, and you know, it's an hour and 18 minutes. So let me see how I can cut this short. If I think I've gone through my whips and finishes. I've gone through all the stuff I've bought. And I did mention I want to do a chart fast. And so I decided that I'm filling up the white dresser, and I'm going to stop purchasing patterns until Nashville. I mean, there might be something that I see that I will just try to put it in the little book and get it later. I don't think there are any, and I'm gonna get. If I get to go to Acorn Gathering in January, then that's going to be another pattern that I get from a retreat, and so I do want to, get things finished and then start things, but I'm kind of slow, so I don't want to I don't want to start a bunch of stuff. I want to get the toter piece done. I want to work on the house without a cat piece. I do want to finish One Snowman's Family, because that would be like a whole set of like about 10 charts that I would then save to destash as a set somewhere. So yeah, so that's kind of, I think, everything. And so thank you for your endurance. And oh, also wanted to thank all of the Etsy dealers that I bought the needles from. I'm going to put those in the descriptions. I didn't write them down. I have receipts and things in the bins, but I'm going to write them down with descriptions. I think I might have done that in my last Flosstube, but I don't recall if I did. And I did want to put down some other information about the beading needles. So I think that's it. And thank you very much. And it's now 1 hour 21 minutes. 1 hour 21 minutes, and my tables are filled with stuff, but there's nothing that hasn't been shown. So thank you very much, and I will see you in 2 weeks.